Alright, what we have here is a 1973 or 74 Gibson J-55. Flat top acoustic guitar. I think the serial number on this starts with an A. It's probably pretty hard to see in this, but it's an ink stamp right on the top, and it starts with an A, then the 6 digits. It's an A, and it's 3881445, which would probably put it at a 1973. They started the A serial numbers on these from 73 to 75, so it's either a 73, since it's a lower number, A3, or it's a 74. All the 75s I've seen are a lot higher serial number and naming convention than that. But anyway, so here it is. It's a Gibson J-55. I thought I'd make a little video of it because this guitar has actually had a decent amount of work done to it. It had a neck reset done a couple years ago, and it held up great, and it works fantastic. There's a few things that maybe won't be highlighted in the pictures so much. So the neck was, the fingerboard itself was in good shape, but it has definitely had been played for a lot. The frets were gone. They were really worn down. Since it needed a neck reset, obviously the strings were up really too high. The saddle was completely down to its bare minimum, and it was done, and it had seen all of its playing time until it needed to go under guitar surgery and have the neck reset. So the neck was reset, and it didn't take much at all for them to get the neck back in proper place. There's a little bit of gaps that have been sealed inside here. There's a little bit of gap there, and there's a little gap that you can kind of see right here, because it was so minimal that when they put the fingerboard back onto the body, you didn't even need a shim in there. And honestly, after a while, the dirt and grime from playing will actually fill it in over the years. But it's definitely a player guitar, and it's in really good shape now. It had, since the neck was off, it's been completely refetted with the Stu-Mac. I believe it's the 149 large or wide medium frets, just like it would have, and they're very, very close to what was originally on it. They're nice and high and proud. There's not really much fret buzz. There's maybe a little bit over in the top, but that's kind of typical for all these kinds of J50s and J55s. But it's in good shape. You can see the string height is where it should be, and everything's original. All the way down to the tuning pegs, those are original. The saddle is relatively new. It's just a replacement Gibson saddle that would have been put on it originally. They're plastic, and the tuning machines are stamped Gibson. I'm sorry, they're stamped Grover from Gibson. And the guitar's in really good shape. The back of it's actually surprisingly very clean. It's got typical nicks in it, but there's no gap separation. There was one minor crack on the very bottom of the side, which it's been filled. It's got a little bit of scuffing along the crack, and then there's the binding has got the celluloid binding has got some wear to it, and there's some gouges. There's some player marks right along here, and of course down here, and some shrinkage around which is typical for these type of pick guards. And the pick guard was actually starting to come off, but not all the way, so it was just reapplied with proper glue for it. And rather than go through and re-lacquering the whole front, I just kind of left it as, but you can see it probably shows up better in the pictures. But yeah, there's some nicks around there, and then it's got typical nicks here, just play nicks, probably just from over the years. This guitar's 41 years old, so it's been played, but it's actually in really good shape. I think my guess is that the neck needed to be reset, and a long time ago, and it sat in its original hardshell case forever unstrung, because it is in really good shape. I mean, it's probably seen some falls and stuff, but it's okay. There's some discoloration around the sides here, but it's not it's not rubbed off into the lacquer. It's still good. I would guess that this is the Kalamazoo model. It's the square. It's their square label. It's really hard to get that light in there. It's the square label. Gibson sticker made in Kalamazoo. And like I said with the serial number, probably I'd guess it's a 73 or a 74. I don't think it's a 75. The serial number's too low. The fretboard's been all leveled. It's in beautiful rosewood fretboard. It shows some dings. There's some marks in there. There was the typical first and second position, and actually third position wear marks from string bending and everything. Those have been filled with a coated epoxy inside there, so that you can see it, but it's actually, if you take it down a level, it's totally flat, so your finger can run across it. But it's a good guitar. It's good. It's got a good warm, low tone to it. Cool thing about these, or interesting thing about these, is back when they were building them back in the 70s, is that they have, I believe they have a double X brace on the top, but the back is multi-laminate mahogany, so there's no bracing in the back. And the reason that they did that, if you didn't know, was so that they could get a much larger bowl to the back of the guitar to make it, I guess, louder or create a more deeper tone. But that's why it does not have any lateral braces in the back. It's just the laminate back, and it's in good shape. There's not too many cracks. There's a little bit of filler that you can kind of see from where the neck reset happened, right along the sides. They did a really good job getting it all back together. That's just a little bit of fill put back in there, and on that side as well. And then, oh yeah, when the frets were put on, there's a little bit of the original lacquer got off the edge of where the fingerboard is. It probably shows up better on the side dots a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that. But it's the original lacquer where it kind of got sanded off a little bit. I left it as is because I don't think it needs to be touched up, and honestly, the more you play this, the more grime will get on there, and it'll get broken in, and it'll look good again. But that's it. It's Gibson J-55, I'm guessing 1973. It's got the inlaid Gibson headstock with the eye off, which would put it in the 70s, 60s, late 60s to early 70s or mid 70s. It's a good player guitar. It's not a museum guitar, but it's certainly a good player guitar. That's about it. Thanks for watching.